Hey guys, it's old folks. So Kevin Sims from my YouTube page had asked if I'd do a review on Gorgana. And I'm going to be honest, I used her for a little bit, but as I came into what I would call higher tier champions, I removed her. Let's look at her skills and then I'll tell you what I think about her and just some other thoughts. So first skill, obviously this is her ultimate. Summon snakes to help attack, dealing damage to the area. If they receive a poison effect, they take a higher poison damage, and so the specified target must take extra damage. And so I'm doing 2,000 damage. If they're poisoned, I'm doing 5.7. So obviously you want them to be poisoned, and this requires you to be smart in who you use your ultimate on. Venom Bite summons two snakes. They deal magic damage. Deals an extra attack to all targets who receive a poison effect. So they're going to take damage, and if they're poisoned, they're going to take another attack, which is, 1,800. That's at level 60 something. Sprays of Phantom Venom in front. If the target's ability power is less than Gorgana's, they receive a poison effect. So this is kind of one of those things where you got to determine what team you're going to fight. If you're fighting a magic team, then odds are you're not going to get this, because their AP is not going to be 50% less than hers. If you're fighting an AD team, attack damage team, then their AP should be less than 50% of hers, so they're going to get the poison effect. If they get the poison effect, then of course what happens, you now get to use your ultimate. Now your Venom Bite does more damage. Kind of go from there. So every time she casts a skill or a basic attack, she gets an ability power buff, stacks up to 15 times. Currently, it's 100.6. Obviously, it goes up. Let's move it to 67, 100, 109. I'll just level it up here to, what level am I on her? Level 78, 150. So obviously, you could see how the damage could really scale. So this is her strength. Is the longer a fight goes on, the more damage she does. That said, most arena fights don't go on where she's going to get up to 15 attacks, but we'll just leave that alone. So where does this place her then, I guess, in the scale of use? Well, if they're not poisoned, her ultimate does less damage. Her ultimate doesn't provide a knock-up. It doesn't provide a stun. It doesn't provide any kind of real crowd control. It's just damage. And its true damage is dependent upon whether or not they're poisoned. If they're poisoned, then it's kind of worthwhile. So, the ultimates, again, it's kind of like when I did my Thanos review. She's not bringing anything to the party. Her Venom Bite, again, it's really only better if they're poisoned. The Toxic Spray is the one thing that makes people poisoned, and it's only good against certain teams. So when do you want to use this? Well, you could use it in the Crystal Dungeon, because those fights tend to go on for a while. Obviously, the longer it goes on, like you've seen, like 119, 118, some of those where the fight has gone on for some time, she's going to get all 15 stacks, meaning she's going to add some serious, 2,000 points of AP, which is a ton of AP. Obviously, that goes up the higher level she gets. Some of your hero fights that you're going to fight in the standard stuff, that would work well. Crusades, I'm not going to use because my crusade fights are over usually in less than 30 seconds. They should be. I don't want it to drag on, because if it's dragging on, then that means I'm taking more damage, I'm using more ultimates, I'm not fresh for my next one. So she's not really good in crusade, she's not really good in the arena, she's not, okay, so where's her use? Well, it's pretty much just limited to things like the Crystal Dungeon. It's pretty much limited to things like maybe the Ancient Runes. Again, I don't want a long fight. I've got a 2-minute time window to win. The longer they're alive, the more damage they're doing. They usually outdamage me by a lot. So she's just not a hero that I use, or do I really need. I used her at the beginning when I didn't have a magic person. She filled a great role, helped me out, but now it's just kind of like, I mean, they would have to do some kind of remake where it makes her more useful. Maybe make other members like be able to poison and help. So if Muse is poisoning them, then that helps her obviously. But again, I don't have any kind of control with the crowd. So maybe if they're poisoned, they're stunned, or maybe they're petrified, or maybe they take energy reduction. I don't know. But in her current state, I just can't recommend her. Now, I mean, how do I get her? Well, you know, if I go here and I go here, I click on that, you know, I can get these. She's cheap. I'm going to have to think to myself, it's been a long day. I go to the Crusade shop. I can buy them here. I mean, she's easy to get, but am I going to invest it? No, I'm not. I mean, that's just me. If you like her, great. But in the long run, there's just so many other people that you can get that bring so much more to the table. Again, you know, Karna later on, she's bringing lots of hit points. Muse later on, she's bringing her awakening. You know, it's just one of those things of, you got to look. You only have so many people you can really use before they're worth having. You know, she's just not an in-game hero right now. Now maybe if they gave her an awakening skill, I don't know what it would do. But if they're poisoned for maybe more than 3 seconds, it stuns for half a second, that would make it too OP. But you know, I mean, at that point, what's it gonna be? She's just not an in-game character. She's very limited in her. What I'm going to bring to the party. Because let's be honest, this game is all about control. You either have to have phenomenal burst damage or amazing control or some utility to make you worthwhile. What makes Vortex phenomenal is his ability to stun the battlefield in a cone shape, the constant damage he's dropping. I mean, he's just a beast on the field. What makes Blaine so effective, even though his skills necessarily aren't the greatest, is that silence, because you have that period of time where they can't cast anything and you can cast everything. I mean, that's what we look at. So Gorgana, man, you know, she has a lot of good intentions, but she just can't follow through. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you think, and we can discuss it from there, and maybe you can change my opinion. But at this time, again, I had a video on what to do and think long term. I'm not going to designate a lot of resources into her because she's just not an in-game person for me. Thanks for watching, guys. Also remember, if you like these videos, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. If you feel real spunky, click on an ad. If you don't, no big deal. But thanks again, guys.